So that's all that's my little story for you to round the evening off. Hopefully you found that a bit interesting. And any questions, or we can...
What do you put down your success in choosing a great product down to? So you chose lithium.
Yeah, right. Okay, so shall I tell you the story about how I did a great evaluation and did all the matrix and did all the research and found out the final thing? What actually happened, and this is how it happened, I was sitting down one day on LinkedIn, and I was, so on LinkedIn I set up a group for Orange. You can set up groups, and there wasn't one for Orange, so I set one up because I wanted to keep some contacts. So I was managing this group, and I've been doing it for a little while, and it wasn't that. So I was sitting in my B&B one night just to pass the time, and I was doing some stuff, and there was something on the group that I couldn't do. There was some function, I didn't know how to do it, so I thought I'll type in the help thing here. And I noticed when I typed in the help thing, I got a really good answer. I thought, oh, that's quite good, because that's what we want to do in GiftGaff. We want to go to the forum, then we want to go to the knowledge base, then we want to go to the agent, right? And I thought, that's good, because that journey exists. And I happened to notice that the URL had changed from linkedin.com to something like custhelp.com or something. And I thought, oh, that's odd, what's going on there? So I did a look up on CustHelp to see what was going on there, and found out that that was provided by Right Now. And they were providing this white labeled experience. So I thought, rather than try and build it, let's use that. And then we started to look into that, and then that sort of started the journey, and then we got through to lithium. So it was really about finding a similar experience we were trying to do, and it was pure luck. But then just notice, because what I thought initially was, I'll just copy that, because that's what we want, I'll copy that. And then, of course, the implementation behind it was the thing that really enabled it. So yeah, a little bit of luck there. So it wasn't any great insight on my part, but these things happen.
What's interesting is you've obviously built an industry that has no or a company that has no legacy.
Yes.
Are you aware of them now having to swap out one of those early components and replace with something better? Because technology is moving faster.
It is, yeah.
Than the businesses.
Yeah. So even a company that's in 2009 has still got its own legacy. So one of the key there's a few founding principles around GiftGaff. One of them was that we're not going to own any infrastructure, things like that, and it's a principle, and right, yeah. So the design we've done enabled that. So the data warehouse bit I mentioned too was swapped out. So that was swapped for a similar architecture but a different provider. So that was moved out. That was after my time at GiftGaff. So that had moved on. I think the core architecture, I still keep in touch with them. So, but they've moved on a lot now. It's mainly the same in terms of its principle. They've definitely moved on the data warehouse. What is interesting though, which coming out of GiftGaff, they launched a company called Standing on Giants. And Standing on Giants is a sub-company of GiftGaff, which does all the community management bit. Because that was such a powerful thing, everyone was coming to them saying, I want that. The thing that you've done there, I want that. So they packaged that up as a separate company, and that now offers standalone services to different brands inside the telephone group. And which underneath, what they did is part of that initiation of Standing on Giants, they built their platform that did some of the components in a slightly different way, because you do get to the points with lithiums and so on that you end up with. You hit barriers, not necessarily in terms of functionality, because it's pretty rich, but you hit it in terms of commercials, and suddenly it's okay. Cloud services are great when you've got 100,000 customers, because you're paying per use. When you've got a few million, right, you might want to think, is that really the most cost effective? So they evolved that whole piece, again, using the principles, and they've pulled together a platform there that does that. So that sort of does that piece.
Are those principles set in stone? Are they covert?
I think principles are set in stone. I mean, those. So I'll give a slightly obtuse answer to that, because when I was referred to this PowerPoint pack I had, that was given to me in the most legal wrapped NDAs you could possibly imagine. Here's the 8 principles of GiftGaff, and I can't remember them all off the top of my head now, but they said this is what the principle is going to be like. We're going to be online only. We're going to be simple. We're going to be pay as you go. A principle was we're not going to do TV advertising, right?
Yeah.
So now
they
do, right? So but the point was because these principles were baked into the core product. If you break one, you can kind of get they broke it but still got away with it. It didn't affect them. So I think that's a brand principle as opposed to technology. And if you have a technology principle, I think they help to guide you. Should you break it or should you not? Well, it depends, what it is really. You shouldn't bend to never break it, but I think the technology principles should be generic enough that They help guide your decision making.
So the business was driven by technology, not the technology driven?
No, the other way around. Because the business, there was a business principle, the 8 principles were business principles.
Right.
And we built our technology to meet those, exactly. Yeah, and that was the kit. That was actually, I didn't really mention, in the early days, we spent a lot of time, myself, the chief marketing officer, the CEO, sitting down and working out the proposition. And that was painful sometimes on a big work document, trying to write. But that was time well spent to make sure we understood exactly what it was we were delivering. So.